This is an analysis of Roberto Calasso's The Ruin of Kasch. Again, a very important commentary on what has happened in Europe over the last 200 years with the introduction of modernity and so many other things that we will be discussing with each of these recordings. So I'm just on page 35, and here he is talking about a certain aspect of European politics that is very relevant today. So he begins by talking about the Congress of Vienna that took place in 1814, ostensibly to negotiate peace in Europe after the defeat of Napoleonic France. So this chapter is entitled The Great Ball. And he says, with the Congress of Vienna, a new dimension of spectacle appeared in politics. At that prolonged social gathering, no one could believe that the object of the negotiations was the declared one, the restoration of monarchist sovereignty. There was, on the contrary, an eagerness to put to the test, amid lavish orchestration, the language of concealment that was to contribute so much to the political process in decades to come. The great pronouncements about reconstructing the social order, regenerating the European political order, establishing a lasting peace based on a division of power, etc., were intended to reassure the people and to give that solemn meeting an air of dignity and grandeur. But the true aim of the Congress was to divide among the victors the spoils taken from the defeated. Frederick de Gentz made this observation in his memorandum of February 12th to the Prince of Karaja, Hospodar of Wallachia. But a division of spoils among the victors is the aftermath of any war. If a discerning observer like Gentz felt the need to remark on this, it was precisely because he sensed that the pomp of the Congress, far more than its final decisions, was its real novelty. A new aesthetics of politics was revealing itself, and Gentz sensed this so strongly that he wanted to record in limine the persistence behind the mask of grand pronouncements and balls of the ancient, indomitable object of politics, the division of spoils. And this can really sum up our politics of today, which we have seen going on since 1814. We now have nearly 200 years later, with non-stop war and declarations for wishing for peace, countries convening together amid great pomp and ceremony, claiming to be campaigning for peace, when in actual fact they are planning the very opposite. We've seen this in colonialism with the scramble for Africa. Again, meetings held about the division of land and the division of resources. We've seen it with Iraq and Afghanistan, and now with Syria. And we're seeing it now with regard to the overall global economy. Which has seen the expansion of the free market, ostensibly designed to free up trade and promote freedom among people, while in actual fact just allowing deregulation to the point that the weakest can just be exploited even further. But here, Calasso is pinpointing the moment that this particular change in politics occurred at this Congress, which some sources say was not a real Congress, but which gave the impression of people campaigning for peace, while instead taking vast swathes of land into their territories and setting up the grounds for future wars.